If the girlfriend breaks it off, should she give
Keep
the
that
ring
ring, girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Shout out to the petty.
Oh, I am
petty is
petty.
mad 12. Hey, will you marry me? Yes, I will. Take the ring. I don't want to marry you no more.
Like, if I just found out you was trash, I would definitely keep the ring.
What up?
Welcome to Random Ass Convos with Twilla and Dion.
Hey, that's the first time you didn't emphasize on ass. Welcome, everyone.
I really tried.
She actually lowered her octave on ass this time.
Yep.
Welcome back, guys. We have a phenomenal show for you guys. Episode. I don't know if they call it a show. We calling it a show?
Episode?
Show?
I mean,
yeah.
it's we put it on. It's a show.
We're going to be talking about everything between Velcro and strawberries, hash browns, and mufflers.
You know what I want to talk about?
What we're going to talk about?
Like, this isn't even in the cup. This isn't even
This
cup.
is not in the docket?
No. And I live for a good comment section, right?
Okay.
And good old Tory Lanez had posted something that said, "I love girls who can pull off box braids."
Okay. And for the people who don't know what box braids is, this guy?
Box braids. Those are like the braids, like the Moesha braids or the braids that black girls wear.
The poetic justice, the dookie braids. They call them dookie braids. Dookie braids and box braids.
Box braids can be thinner. They don't have to be that thick.
Okay.
But yeah, just the normal braids that girls have been wearing all throughout the 90s and through now. So Tory Lanez, who is, I guess we have to say, allegedly the guy who shot Megan Thee Stallion. Mm-hmm. And he's going to put, "I like girls who can pull off box braids." And I knew immediately I should check out the comment section. Like, can you just imagine?
What they say?
Listen, I'm going to actually put this mess up on the screen because I had a grand old time.
Hey, man, shout out to Tory Lanez.
For what?
I like the guy. I like Chicks Tape 5. Phenomenal album. This is before the alleged shooting. Phenomenal album is where he sampled like 15 artists' songs and then featured them on the song.
Yeah, it was
which
dope.
was a great idea. So I was in love with that album.
And then he shot Megan Thee
before he shot Meg. Is it Meg Thee Stallion or Megan Thee Stallion?
So I feel like when she came out, it was Meg Thee Stallion.
Okay, you shorten it up.
And then my sister, who's 10 years younger, but 10 years older,
mentally,
like she's way more mature than I am. She was like, "No, it's Megan Thee Stallion." And I was like, "Oh, I've been told." Okay. And I looked it up and she was right. But I knew the comment sections would not disappoint. Okay. Girls were out here saying, "Let me take these braids out my head right now." And then somebody came off with, "We love a man who can pull off a hairline." Oh, I am dying because when you mess with somebody that we love, especially black women, black Twitter, black Instagram, all of it, we have thoughts and we're gonna come for you. I could just scroll through. I spent.
You went through the whole comment?
Oh, of course
you
I
know
did.
what? I have sympathy for Tory Lanez because I don't have a mature hairline as well. So I felt that one. Young lady, what's her name? Who said that?
Oh, because Sugar Pusher.
I'm coming for you, Sugar Pusher.
Listen, and then she put a clown emoji beside it. I just knew, though. Like, I didn't even. I was beside you when I saw it. I said, "Oh Lord, he just posted this," and I was like, well, "Let me just go to the comments." Yeah. These girls were like, "Let me take these braids out my head. Let me we love a guy who don't shoot women." Like it was. That's funny. Like I think
this is the highlight of Twilla's life. She loves going through the comment section.
I don't need Instagram for anything else.
She goes to she is Twitter. She is Black Twitter. Somebody post a random response of something, and she'd be like, "Let's see what the people are saying."
Yeah, and I don't care about the comment.
Kick off of Twilla's whole day. I think you should definitely do a podcast or a segment called the comment section and just highlight the best of the best.
I would have so much fun. I would just have screenshots for days.
Yeah, that would be your new show, man.
Gosh.
When I say I'm constantly getting screenshots. Look at this tags. Look at this food said.
Real tears.
That's her highlight. I'm constantly getting that.
And it's comedy. It's like the comedy ones like that, or like when like the political ones, and then somebody tried it, or a black man trying to tell a black woman how to look cute, or something like that. Those comments are going to be great, and the people are going to come for them. I love like when somebody's like comes out loud and wrong, and I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna do that because I want to highlight the people who be dead wrong. I want to at them because obviously they're here for it. I want to do that.
Loud and wrong. That should be called. It should be called loud and wrong.
I'm not in the comments.
Oh yeah. In the comments. Well, in the comments. What should it?
Yeah, because that's where I be.
In the comment. In the comments.
In the comments.
In the comments. You know that little GIF? Is it GIF or GIF?
I say GIF, but I think it's GIF.
The gift when that is a little GIF of Michael Jackson doing it like I'm here for the comments.
Yes, that is me.
And that guy come out walking with the chair like I'm here for the comments.
Yes.
Love it.
Man, yeah. Thanks for letting me share that.
Yay.
Oh,
sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is up? How's life for you?
We have been working, man. We're catching up on life, answering emails, text messages, expanding.
Yeah.
Building the team. Thanks for all the love and support from the last week's episode about how we became Lacktoast Entertainment. Shout out to the yellow boxes in the back, trying to do some advertisement, if you will. Branding. Huh?
Yeah, LTE.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think people have asked more questions since then, so we might do like I have like at least one of them in here, but we might bring some of that back or do some comments with that too. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I do want to make mention because this is your friend.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to bring it up. I'm sorry. You're getting caught off guard. Your friend Ebony Williams.
Shout out to UNC, Tar Heels, Carolina girls.
Yeah, all that.
Class of Don't Worry About It.
She's trying to massage her truth right now. She's trying to massage what she's about to say. So, she was on Wendy Williams, and she had made mention that she's no longer with her fiance of 4 years because in quarantine, she found out that her fiance at the time did not want to didn't want to quarantine with her. He would rather spend time with his young adult children, 22, 18, and 13, versus her. And she said the children was number one in his life, and she wants to be number one. And she said he doesn't want children. I think the truth came out afterwards. You know when you kind of let things slide, and then she's like, you know what, I don't want to be with him anyway because he has children. He don't want children. I think that kind of came out last because you wouldn't have stayed that long if he said he don't want children in the beginning. So, what's
he
your thoughts
doesn't want
about
any more children.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he said that day one, you wouldn't stay that long.
No, that's not true.
You gonna change his mind?
Yeah, but also like because love covers a multitude or whatever. So like I said, first of all, shout out to Ebony. Proud of all this work she's doing. Nah, because you're not gonna come for my girl from Carolina.
I'm coming for her because she's
trash
for that.
How's she trash? Okay.
She's trash.
Okay. How? No. Okay. Because I'm a single woman who don't have kids, so I can also understand the idea of. Let's put it this way, right? So he's quarantining with his children, and which. I do appreciate a man that puts his kids high up on priority and shows up for them. Okay. That's important. Okay. If you're going to date a man with kids, he better take care of them. Period, point blank.
That's true.
But the idea is also like, as a single woman, if I didn't, like if you don't have like family around you and you're living your life, you coming home by yourself, knowing that you got a man. You got a man, but you're not able to see them. Like, I don't know the reason why, there wasn't a compromise or we can quarantine together. I don't know all of that. I can't even speak on that, But the idea is you do want to be considered, like the quarantine, like COVID was real, and it was a mentally draining time. Like therapy went up.
Right.
It was a lot on individuals. So for him to, like, unfortunately he had to make a choice, and he made a choice of his children, which good on him. But at the same time, that forced her to make a choice. Like, you know what? If I can't be priority, I don't know if I can be in this relationship.
So think about why she broke up with him. It's like, girl, what happened to you and your friend? I liked him a lot. He wanted to spend more time with his children than me.
Nah, this was a unique situation.
How's that unique?
It's you, because you can spend time, men and, people have been in a relationship with people with kids, and the kids come over and the kids come on vacation and the kids are around. This was a freaking pandemic, so it was a unique time in history.
Right, so she should be understanding.
She could be understanding and decide that she don't want to be with him, which she did.
Because he don't want to spend time with her during a sickening time. First of all, she got COVID early. So he's like, oh, this is real. I'm definitely staying away now.
I'm saying in this situation, she's not wrong for choosing herself. A woman's not wrong for choosing herself. She has to know what's important to her. Right. There are people who say, I can't date a man with kids because of that very reason.
Right.
They're not wrong. It just came in a very real way for her, because never in a million years did you think the would you rather would show up in real life, and she would have to, that decision would have to be made. So she's not wrong for knowing where she wants to fall on that totem pole, and he's not wrong for showing up for their kids. And therein lies the situation is be like, well, we can't come to an agreement, so this might be one of the things that we can't work out. And to be fair, because I listened to The Breakfast Club, not Wendy Williams, she also said they did therapy, so they tried to work through it. Right. Like, we're getting caught on that fact, and also the fact that she wants kids and he doesn't want any new kids because he's at a certain point in his life. Again, that's his prerogative. A lot of times I think we think, oh, we can compromise, like maybe I can learn to love his kids, or maybe he'll change his mind. And you have to, like, at some point wake up and be like, it probably is not going to happen. And there have been couples who've publicly stated that, like Jeannie Mai in her first marriage always was vocal about not wanting kids, and her divorce happened when her husband at the time realized that I do want kids and I can't make her change her mind. Mm-hmm. And so that, so those things happen.
So before the quarantine, what was the gap of you not seeing your parents and how much they wanted to see you? You had to make that sacrifice, right? Because you knew how serious this pandemic was. If she lives like what, Atlanta?
New York?
I think she's
literally in the Real Housewives of New York.
I think she lives in Atlanta, but she's on that show, right? Okay, she's
in New York.
Okay, she's in New York.
And he lived in Jersey. They weren't far away.
He wasn't far away. Okay, I was about to use that excuse.
Yeah, I know.
But she could have lived somewhere else, and he was afraid to get on an airplane.
But that wasn't the situation. So it's just such a unique situation. You can't fault her. Like, I don't know, like, a man's not a bad guy for wanting to be with his kids. He's not wrong for that, but she's not in any way wrong for wanting him to choose her. Like, that's literally what we want in relationships.
I hate that if he was a perfect man for her, that the reason why they broke up is because he would rather spend more time with his children, who is still growing mentally, to a woman who is very well educated, knows the importance of how childhood trauma is with parenting and fathers and daddy issues, the importance of that.
She shouldn't have to sacrifice. Like,
it's not forever.
Yes, but we didn't know how long it was. Like, okay, 3 months, that's one thing, but a whole freaking year?
Right.
That's a lot for her, too. She went through a lot. She sacrificed a lot for, quite frankly, kids that aren't hers. That's a lot.
She sacrificed things? What?
To not seeing your man, to have that intimacy, to be around, to share, to have somebody right there with you, like physically. That's a sacrifice. She shorted herself on behalf of like her man and her kids.
But I'm sure this is not unique.
A lot of people went through stuff through quarantine.
Right.
A lot of relationships
I know a lot
ended.
of people stayed home because they can't. They are afraid to fly. Imagine if you had like a long distance relationship and you live in Atlanta and one person who lives in LA, and they're like, "Oh, we got the quarantine at home, so now we're here." And what do we do? Do we still travel, or are we going to stay here at home? Should we drive to our locations? As planes are very.
If you were in a long distance relationship and somebody was, you mean like scared to get on the plane because of COVID?
Right.
Oh, I thought you meant in general. I was like, if you're in a long distance relationship.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
I mean, people had to face a lot of real choices and a lot of music. Like, I'm sure there's relationships that ended because of that. Like,
right.
Because it's not the same as a relationship with your parents where you probably didn't live with them or see them that often anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that is.
I know DJ Envy lives like a couple of cities over from his parents. He said he ain't seen his parents a whole year.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that live in the same city as their parents and haven't seen their parents in a year for that.
Mm-hmm.
But your parental relationship is different than your intimate romantic relationship.
Exactly.
So I'm saying like for me to see my parents, I don't need to, like that didn't have to happen for me. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that chose to quarantine with their partner.
But they were just girlfriend and boyfriend.
No,
they weren't official. They were fiance.
They were fiance. You were working your way through marriage.
But did she give that ring back? That's the question. Should she give the ring back if she broke it off?
I mean,
that's a good question, right? If the girlfriend breaks it off, should she give the ring back?
Keep that ring, girl.
Really?
Yeah.
That feels like
that was a gift.
But what? But you broke it off. Why would you say yes then?
So no, listen. Again, you're assuming how the breakup happened. Neither one of us was there, and I haven't talked to Ebony since 2004, so I don't know what happened. But I can say that, like, if they went through therapy and they were working it through, and they were like, you know what, this is just not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's between them, whatever it is. But I wouldn't be mad at you for keeping the ring. It was a gift. You gave it to me. You the one who decided you didn't want to quarantine with me.
Shout out to the petty. Twilla.
Oh, I am
petty is
petty.
mad 12. You broke up with a person. Hey, will you marry me? Yes, I will. Take the ring. I don't want to marry you no more. Bye bye.
I mean, that's on whatever we agree.
Why
upon.
are you singing in acapella? Wasn't that what is it? Not
like
acapella.
if I just found out you was trash, I would definitely keep the ring. Oh, you sleeping with who still? We not getting married, but thank
Smile
you.
in your face. You a backstabber.
How am I a backstabber?
Anywho, what we got on the docket today?
Oh my gosh. Today, you want me to draw first? Or you want to draw?
Speed this thing up. Let's get right to it. Relationships. Speaking of relationships, who should pay for the first date? Should we assume this, or should it be talked about up front? Great question.
It is.
Coming from a man who is very frugal. Is it frugal?
Cheap. Yep.
Frugal.
Frugal.
I don't know why should never. I don't think that's another word like that. Fruit. You're fruit. Yeah, you're right. Frugal. It sounds like you were trying to say fruit while you're getting choked. Yo, hand me the fruit. I thought I was gonna make you laugh. I would say definitely bring it up front. I am also a fan of a woman who offers it and then I pay for it.
So
I'm a huge.
So you go to the date without the expectation of paying?
So it's a lot of things to factor in. Who asks who out? Did she ask me out? Hey, I want to go out to Morton's. You want to join me? I'm like, sure, absolutely. Am I meeting you? Yeah, you can come pick me up. Oh, you want me to come pick you up? Absolutely. All right. So I'm picking you up. So you want to have this conversation. So it's like, so what's the occasion? Just wanted to hang out with you. Oh, okay. We hanging out. So I feel used. If you had the place in mind, you want me to pick you up, we go into an expensive restaurant, and you don't even offer to pay.
See, I mean, like, yeah. So, okay, here's my thing. First and foremost, It is 2021. I can afford to pay for my own meal. You know, I can pay for both of our meals. I think we should talk about it up front since there seems to be some level of confusion. But like you said, especially if you ask me out, I'm very traditional, and I tend to go under the assumption a lot of times that if you ask me out, you paying.
But if I'm trying to impress a woman, I will 100% pay for it. But if I'm like, this is a business sort of transaction, if you hit me up for some sort of like advice, you know, I feel like you should. I hear you. Women have asked me out on pick my brain and stuff.
Well, then, yeah, that should be like either Dutch or they paying you. That's different. That's a business.
But also, I need to. Me as a comedian, I will figure out a way to make this upfront comedy. To say, oh, so are we going Dutch? You gonna pay for this one? So make it into an uncomfortable. No, you ain't gotta pay. You okay? Then if she gives that, the whole thing is I don't want her to assume I'm going to pay, but 90% of the chance I'm going to pay up front. But if you give me the vibe, I know it's a mind trick. It's game.
It's also like
don't be presumptuous.
So what if she's like, she goes through the act like, oh, how much is...
Oh, no, I got you.
Well, that's also a mind game because she clearly doesn't have any intentions of paying.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom to pamper up. I'll be right back. I'll see what you're trying to do. So
do you not pay, or you just get upset that she assumed?
And it's a vibe thing. What if it's a shitty dinner? Like you're rude. You tripped the waiter. Did you ask her out? So many things to factor in.
Did you ask her out?
I asked her out.
Yeah, you still paying? Homie.
I'm still paying, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think it's so.
So what if she asks me out?
If she asks you out, then she might be forward thinking enough to pay for it. Maybe you should. Yeah. I think it's wise to talk up front because there's so many assumptions. Like I said, I am very traditional in that way that I'd be like, oh, you don't understand chivalry? You met my mom. You know how we do.
But I also think a lot of men will pay because you don't want your first impression to be you're cheap. A lot of men. Yeah. You don't want your first impression to be, I'm only doing this to smash. Or
but y'all are.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. That's where I get confused, though. Okay, so gentlemen don't want it to be assumed that they're paying, but then don't mind it being assumed that because you went out to dinner with this person that you're going to sleep together. Like I feel like sex is assumed on men's part a lot of times.
Right. So
what's the real here?
So a lot of the time, men will serenade, say everything that he want to say to a woman to possibly sleep with this woman, right? Mm-hmm. They will open up the door. They will, take them to expensive restaurants and walk to beaches and nice, play music, all this stuff, pay for the food to hopefully make the transaction smoother for either a possible a new relationship. I mean, a new date, a new, new move, a new like we're gonna do this again. Mm-hmm. Possibly, if she's in for it, she can sleep with him that night or get a kiss or something like that. But you don't want the first date to be like, man, that was a horrible experience. I would never allow my legs to open to this guy because, first of all, he never did this. And he had the audacity to say, are we going Dutch? You don't want everyone that to be your first expression. A lot of times you will hope that your first impression is organic, not forced. Like you are at a game night and you guys are vibing out. Mm-hmm. If you had like a friend's birthday party and everyone is actually paying for themselves, so that's technically the default first date, and you guys had fun. And then now I'm fine with that. Like I don't want the trial period of figuring this person out, and it's like getting bad service at a restaurant, and you like, I have to pay for this. So that's the weird. Like if it's a bad vibe of a date, you be like, God, I ordered this. I thought she was this. I realized she was this. This swag, and I still have to pay for this. So when you know this is the last date, you be like, I think we should go Dutch. That's me. But you hope that if you had like a game night, if you had like a huge birthday party, you like, I like this girl. Hey, you pull to the side. Hey, I just wanted to know if you and I could possibly take our conversation to another date. Just exchange numbers, and then that's what does that look like? I just
had a thought. It wasn't against you. I was listening to you.
I felt it was.
No, I just had a thought as you were talking about. Like, I think most all the dates that I've ever been on have been those like organic, fun. We kicking it.
So where's that, yo?
I never had that like romantic, get dressed up, sweep me off my feet type date, and I want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweep you off your feet.
Yeah, sweep me off my feet.
So what's the sweep me off your feet? What is the definition of that? You just saying colloquialisms?
Yes, all rom-com stuff. I'm saying that. Like, I would love to go out.
But do you have a gown ready to go?
Yes, I actually have three, I won't say gowns, but date night dresses for like these nice luxurious. Like when I go out to eat nice places, I pay for myself. I'm going with my girls.
Right.
I've experienced this life.
Let me ask you this. If a lesbian will ask you out on a date that was not really into you, but just like, I just want to take you out, would you be fine with that? Or would you rather go Dutch?
I was like, is this a trap?
No, it's not a trap. She's I really like you. I mean,
we can hang out as friends. That's cool. And friends can always pay for me to go out to eat. But, I mean, like, it would really have to be like, hey, girl, I'm, like, I don't want you to feel like I'm going like, egging you on or whatever, like, saying that this might be open up to something more, because right now, as far as I know, I don't swing that way.
But do you say it up front, or do you say it...
Are we friends? Like,
yeah, well, it's like, I can name a couple of our friends, but I'm not, who is actually gay and lesbian, and they came to you and was like, hey, I just wonder if I can pick your brain. That's a lot of times that's a way of smoothly...
See, I'm so naive. I will never, like, if you say you want to pick my brain, cool, we're going out and I'll give you all the information you want to know. I would never know that's a date.
And you realize, yeah, that's a smooth way of saying it.
I would never know that.
That's a smooth way of saying it.
Somebody once told me, like, he told me, he was like, you are so clueless. And to this day, and that was probably like, what?
6 hours ago. So if you realize that the place you're going to is like this really upscale on top of the skyline downtown, and you realize, oh, we're going here. Oh, I got to dress up. You're not thinking like, maybe this girl is trying to date me.
Even if it was a guy who said, I want to pick your mind. Like, it would just never cross my mind.
And then you vibe and you start seeing her holding your hand.
Okay, I'm not that close. I would just be like...
Not hold your hand, but the tap of your hand over your hand. Like, oh, you so funny.
Does it linger?
I mean, everything you say is funny.
Oh, like if it starts to get like, okay, this might be. So I would just say like, I really enjoy talking about business with you. You know, that type of thing. Do you want to do it again? Well, I don't want you to get any signals crossed. I'm, currently into men.
Currently?
Because, I listen to Niecy Nash.
You gotta say currently.
I listened to Niecy Nash on the Red Table Talk, and she was like, how she was always like, I am only dating men. I am only into men. And then she met her wife, and like they had been friends, but she said something clicked. And I was like, you know what? Like they say never,
That's
but
giving opportunities. That right there gave opportunities to everybody who is homosexual. It's like, if I just keep working them, we all start off friends. If I keep working them, I'm eventually going to jump in there.
I am very into men. Like
this is a great transition when I say keep working it. So this is an old clip that just surfaced it's an old clip of Steve Harvey. You heard this one? He said, no matter what, a man always wants to have sex with a girl. No matter how long he lied to you and said we're just friends, you 100% have a man who wants to have sex with you. There's no such thing of men being friends with women. So the discussion was on the Breakfast Club, and they were saying that a lot of their friends are business partners, which we are. And then he said he don't allow to have. He said he's never going to have female friends because of that reason. He don't ever want to cross that line of like, I have the opportunity to have sex with this woman. So what are your thoughts when it comes to all your male friends? Do you think all your male friends, if you ask them, say, hey, would you, because he said this, and don't ever do this. He said, I guarantee you, if you go to any of your male friends and you say, hey, so I'm just curious, I don't really want anything in the future, would you have sex with me? He said 99% of the time all your male friends will say yes. I know I gave you a mouthful. I should have played the clip because I definitely butchered it because it was like a week ago.
Okay.
So think about all your male friends.
Yeah, I
saying
have
that
a lot
I'm
of
the male
guy
friends. That's funny.
I have a lot of guy friends.
Yeah.
And so, like, and most of them, and I know, like, supposedly you aren't supposed to say this, but most of them are married, so it's fine. I see them as brothers. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that very idea is just like, I'm sorry, what? And, like, in college, you have, like, earnest and frank conversations.
You actually said his name, or are you talking about Ernest? Like
Ernest.
I was like, Jesus Christ, you were wildin'.
No. You have these conversations, Ernest and Frank. So
yeah. Like,
you have these conversations, and you talk about it. But I've always, now myself personally,
I feel three times.
Yes.
Myself personally.
I feel like I've always existed in the zone with most of my guy friends as the homegirl. So yeah, like guys talk about friend zone. There is a homegirl zone, and I've comfortably existed there because, like I said, I see most of them as brothers.
Right.
So it is a very weird concept, and it is, I think, as you get older, more difficult to maintain those relationships. Like, I think ours is a unique friendship because we do business, but I also feel like like once my guy friends start getting married, there's a certain like respect line that you just don't respect that for their wives and stuff like that, that you just don't it's not gonna be the same. You can't hang out all night right. Watching movies and stuff like that, so it does become a little different.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And Clayton Thomas. Clayton Thomas had a phenomenal side-by-side about that. And I highly recommend you guys watch Clayton Thomas.
Was he agreeing?
He agreed.
Okay.
He was saying that it is impossible.
I do. So, I don't agree with Steve in his relationship talks most of the time.
Because he got divorced twice?
No, I mean, like,
hating, yo.
I'm not hating on the fact people go through in life and experience, and I think that gives you more, like, perspective that you can speak on certain things. But I just hate how, like, people always, like, men like to give women advice. Like, give it to the guys. Go talk to them. Help them out. Help them not be trash.
So why don't you think men can give women advice?
Because it's always from a perspective of women, what you should be doing. Like, Steve does give a, like, when a man says this is what he's really saying.
What's wrong with that?
I was about to finish.
Okay.
I was saying, like, so that's fine. He does give that. But then it's also, and then it's like, so ladies, what you should do. Now, women, if you would, I hate when men tell, like, women, you need to dress this way, you need to do this to get this type of man, you need to do, that just kind of feels like a to-do list versus, like, teach men not to be trash for women instead of teaching women to live up to these unrealistic expectations to get a man who's possibly still trash.
What if you're looking at it like a list, but he's saying it as like an opinion versus saying, ladies, you should do blah, 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 versus saying, if I was you, I would do blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of times people take people's opinions as this is a sure 100% way of
That's
not
how
losing.
the whole self-help industry exists.
That's what the Bible is.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, think about, like, all those books in the self-help section of stores. It's just a bunch of people's opinions. Some are actually research-based. Others are just opinions on how to live your best life this way. And it's no, like, what makes you an expert. It's certain things. Like, I said men, but I also hate women, when women who have been married for a long time or have never been single for an extended amount of time try to tell women how to wait for marriage. Now, that irks the mess out of me.
Why is that, homie?
Oh my gosh, Dion! Like, and I don't know if you're familiar with, like, these teachings and stuff in church, and especially, like, as a Christian growing up, you talk about, like, dating God's way and waiting for the man and enjoying a lot of times you tell women to enjoy your singleness while the man comes for you and just wait on the Lord. And some of us have been waiting on the Lord for 20 plus years. Listen. And so it's been a long way. And then it'll be like, it's like, I'm thinking a couple of people in particular, but, like, I remember this one woman, she was like, I had gotten out this relationship and then I was single for 6 months and I told God, like, I'll really just focus on my singleness and I want to focus on you. And then as I was doing ministry, I met this man and we started dating 3 months later. And after that, we got, shortly after that, we got married. And it's like, so you're telling me, like, your 9 months of singleness is something to compare with people who've been I call it chronically single, like, for a longer period of time. And then, so this is your solution and you build whole ministries out of this. Like, I don't know, it's selling, like, false hope. You don't have no experience. Like, tell me, like, somebody who's 50 and never been married, like, how do you wait on the Lord then? Right. Or what should I not do? What have you learned not to do while you're single? Like, if you're still single, and I've had women say, just go on more dates. I wish I dated more, or stuff like that. I appreciate that. Like, because they're like, I don't want you to experience it the same way I did. Maybe make sure your life is more fuller or things like that. So I just don't like when maybe I just don't like when people tell people what to do.
So how do you feel about a chronic dater / sexual partner? Like a person who was like, I'm hungry. Let me go find me a date. They're like, I date all the time.
Yeah.
Or I'm a busy person. I don't have time for relationships. It's great to have multiple partners, but, like, one time though. Safe, NDA. Like,
now listen, I'm always that friend to be like, do you, boo?
What's the problem? What do you think the problem would that be?
So it's just, like, remembering what you're doing stuff for. Like, if it's if you're like, I'm out here, what was the first, like, just the chronic dater, like, I'm hungry. Like, if it's truly like just for companionship or to meet people or get a free meal, or is it a void that you're trying to fill? Like, be real with yourself. I think a lot of times we aren't real with ourselves in terms of what motivates us. If you're just like, I'm going to be single, but I'm not going to be abstinent. Like, I am still going to enjoy this. And you are okay with that, like truly and honestly okay with that, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to tell anybody not to do it, but I always say check your motivations and understand, like, what is there something that you're trying to fulfill, or is it just a physical action for you? And if it's just a physical action for you, hey, go on, be healthy, enjoy life. But if it's like, I'm going, I'm experiencing this with all the men every other night, because I really don't like to be by myself, or I really don't want to, go to sleep by myself, or whatever that reason is. If there's a deeper reason, address that. And I'm going to always say, like, figure it out, go talk to a therapist, whatever, because...
Would you tell it to one of your friends, or would you...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if a girl's like, it's like, girl, I'm not gonna get married. The thing is, I'm a super busy person. I'm in a different city every single week. And it's just fun to meet new people. It's like traveling. Traveling comes with new sex partners.
And if you enjoy that and you're fine with that, that's fine.
But you just said you would tell them to go see a therapist.
I said truly understand your motivations. Ask yourself the right questions.
Right.
And then if it turns out that I just don't like to be by myself and every new city is it's a very lonely experience, that's when you go to therapy. That's when you talk to somebody. But be honest with yourself up front.
Okay.
Like, I don't think you have a problem because you like doing that, but I do think sometimes we have certain actions. We do certain actions to cover up other things. I don't think that's always the case. It just may be the case.
Mm-hmm. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
That relationship went long.
Yeah, man. I didn't say put your hand in my cup.
Hello. That was a tag.
Grown up business. Oh, this is Ebony's. It was in here already.
Oh, word?
Oh, no, it's not. I lied. So the conversation came up this week. I think this was also a Breakfast Club reference. We listened to a lot of Breakfast Club.
Yay.
But it was the comedian. I can't think of his name.
Duval.
Lil Duval. That men over 30 should not have male roommates. So let's talk about it.
I agree. I agree. Any man over 30 is a great cutoff to be like, I need to get my life right. I feel like once you get like 28, you start to kind of say, oh my God, something needs to happen. And most men is a pride thing because you've been chewed out by a lot of women who have said, you got a roommate? We got to wait till your roommate leaves? If you have an apartment, it's a problem. If it's a house and you got a back house, that's cool. But if you have an apartment where one person's on the couch and one's on the bed, if it's a 2-bedroom and y'all sharing the same wall, that's wild. Like, you never want to check in with your roommate to bring your girl home. That's just so bogus to me.
So I'm hearing two things already.
Okay, go for it.
So the first
it's
one
about
is
women.
Yeah, the first one I was like, it's 100%. Just clearly about women.
100%.
So there's this.
Or if you're gay, about men.
But this is also like, so what I'm discovering the older that I get, in our society, we create these like arbitrary standards based on age. Like certain things that you should have figured out by a certain age.
Right.
And our culture, culture sets that. Like, these are the expectations that you should achieve by a certain age. But our, world or our economy or certain things haven't evolved to allow those things to be maintained. I come from a world that was like, if you go to college, if you go to high school, get good grades, you go to a good college, you'll get scholarships. You do a good internship, you come out, you'll start making good money in a couple of years, and by the time you're 40, your 401k should be reading this.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a great recession that we went through. There's certain things in life that happened economically that wouldn't let us keep up with those same ideals that were instilled upon us, and that the baby boomers and the Gen Xers got.
I hear nothing but
freely.
Excuses right now.
No, this is real facts.
I hear nothing but excuses.
You're not hearing facts. I want you to hear that our economy, this is actually proven. This is why they talk about the student loan crisis. This is why they talk about housing bubbles. We live in an economy that people can't catch up. People can't save money. We also live in a place currently in COVID ages that rent has gone up 28% nationwide. So for a person who chooses to have a roommate for whatever goals at whatever age, I'd say, like, because it could be financial, like, one, rent's too damn high. Mm-hmm. It could also be like, hey, my goal is not to have a roommate in the next 5 years, and so in order to do that, I need to make the certain sacrifices that I can put away a certain amount of money and invest a certain amount of money so I can get the house that I want, and I'll have the woman that I want, or give my woman what she deserves.
Sure.
You know, so like this arbitrary, like that creates, we have so much anxiety. We always wonder, like, we talk about like suicide rates. We talk about, you know, mental illness and depression and stuff like that, but we don't talk about the things that help cause it. And it's like this thing that I got to reach this imaginary goal that somebody said by 30, I shouldn't be living with a male roommate. Oh my God, I'm failing at life. I'm not doing well. Yo, that's pressure that shouldn't exist. That's stupid to me.
You have pressures as well.
Yes, and I'm actually confronting those pressures.
Right.
Like, who said I got to live up to that?
Right.
Like, it's a lot of pressure to be a grown woman who's not married, who has no kids, but in all these arbitrary numbers, I should have been married by 30. I should have had a kid no later than 32. Here I am behind on that, and that created anxiety. That created pressure.
What if I was 39 years old,
mm-hmm.
still in high school, and like, yo, society is saying you should have graduated at 18. Society is saying you should have been graduated. I was like, yo, I can't let society let me know how old I should have been.
Did you, like, honestly, because there's people getting their GEDs.
Yeah, but what if I'm still in high school? I said, I don't want my GED. I want to do it the right way.
I don't know if they allow you to be in high
what's
school
the limit? Because of society?
No, because children and grown men in the same
What is
space.
the cutoff? What is the cutoff age that they say, yo, bro, you got to go?
I mean, like, did you get all your credits?
They're like, I'm trying. What if I failed every year? Kindergarten failed.
So they're not going to allow you to be in high school for certain reasons, but they'll encourage you to get your GED. Like, I don't know if you have a learning disability. I don't know what your financial and life situation is. I don't know if you've been abused. Like, I don't know what it is. Finish that GED.
Yeah, but what if I don't, not 39, I know that's ridiculous. But what if I had the maximum years of being in high school and they're like, you can't be here?
My cousin finished at 21 and we all shouted.
But I'm sure
he shouted on the stage.
I'm shouting now. Anna Labosha. So what I'm saying is, what if that right there? Like, he should have graduated. So if you tell that story, it's like, dang, you should have, even though he's still in that situation, it's like, man, you should have done it.
But what's the should have? Like, because the only reason you gave me was women, and the only thing that Breakfast Club gave me was toxic masculinity. You ain't gave me no real reason.
Because it's a goal. You should have a goal.
Yes, and I'm saying, like, what if they do have a goal?
And you failed at your goal.
No, what if it's like, you know, like your goal, because first of all, people stay to school till like 28 now, especially if they're getting their doctorates and stuff like that. That's no time. Like, and student loan debt is expensive.
Right.
There's people whose student loan debt is starting at $400 a month and going up to like $800 a month. Student loan debt is expensive. So if your goal is to pay off your student loan debt so you could get a house, then you might not, especially if you live in LA, New York, Miami, like these larger cities, having a roommate is one of the best options and the best sacrifices you can make.
The biggest thing is, you're looking at it as society standards. I'm looking at the person's goals.
Right.
What do you want great in your life? What do you want to have in your life? If cutting, like, defeating what I'm just about to say about the having the girlfriend thing, if the girlfriend was uncomfortable to have and as a roommate, with the roommate, maybe you shouldn't have a girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. So in order for me to have a girlfriend, I would say, I got to get the hell out of here. I would say, maybe I need to put my career on the back burner and get a job that actually can work a place where I feel like I'm great at. Because you have control of that.
Right.
You have control of your finances. You can find a job that actually, or a smaller spot. Is it, if you have a 3 bedroom home that is $1,500, maybe you need to get a 1 bedroom that is $800 in a less desirable place.
Nah, because then your girl ain't gonna feel safe coming over.
But she's my girl. She better know the situation.
She was cool with the situation when you had a roommate.
She was not cool. So this is so many different variables right here. All I'm saying is it's a goal thing.
Right.
If you say to yourself,
I listed out goals for him.
Right.
I listed out goals. They weren't good enough goals. It was to be debt free, to be able to buy a house, and and then eventually put money away towards savings and stock. You said, nah, the hell with all of that. Get a different job or whatever. And I'm saying, no matter what job you have, a lot of people are still going to come in with those student loans. But you can still have goals. Like this person. Now, if you're just lazy at life and not working towards anything, that's a different conversation. Like if you're just fine with the status quo, barely paying rent, you're not working, or you have your business plan for 5 years, Lawrence, and you're doing nothing else.
Lawrence?
Yeah, Insecure reference.
Oh. I was like, yo, you're hitting a nerve on somebody, yo.
No, like, if you truly doing nothing, and you still, then it's like, what are you doing with your life? But if you are actively working towards a goal that doesn't have to be spoken to, if you ask the person, they're like, oh, easily I'm doing this, this, and this. I know somebody now who's pretty close to being a millionaire, and he sacrificed having a roommate up till he was like 34, just so he could get his money up. That was his whole purpose. He was like, I don't understand. Like, he would take the bus, had a nice car at his house. He just didn't want to drive it to save on gas. So he would take the bus. He had a roommate so he could save extra money there. And he did take a job that he didn't like just so he could build up his income, and then eventually started a business up on the side, and then was able to retire early and live the life that he wants to live.
There it is. But how often does that happen?
I think it's more people than you realize that's willing to do that.
Right.
So my whole thing is, like, let's not ignore those people doing that. Like, to make a statement in general, if you're a man over 30 with a male roommate, like, because I know some men who just like, I'd rather have a roommate because financially I want to be in a different place before I have a girlfriend. So men are waiting later to date too.
Yeah, sure. How long do you wait, girlfriend, to him to get his life right? That's another discussion.
Yeah.
If there's a guy you meet at age 18, he has an incredible idea. This idea never happens. Mm-hmm. You're 30. You're 40 now.
Did he ever work to his idea, or he worked. Like, I have an idea?
He worked it. Be honest.
Yeah.
But never has surpassed or had. He had a bunch of meetings. Had a bunch of, oh, this is about to happen, but nothing ever happened. At what year do you be like, sweetheart, you have to stop and work as an intern at IBM or something like that? I
don't know. Real. I don't know if it's a year situation, like a number of years, but it's like, hey, so it's not, this trajectory isn't working. Don't give up on your thought, but let's think of another strategy to get you where you want to go. So it might be taking the internship at IBM, if that's gonna, and you parlay that into something else, and you gain knowledge and you expand your network. This could be the better plan for you.
Is that year one?
Oh, he was 18 year one. Was he in college or just
You made him year one.
Year one.
18.
I do.
20 years is what? 38?
Yeah, I think like we start, like as life grows, like now I'm in a different place. Hey, hun, like maybe it might be 2 years or 3 years. It's whatever season you're in. Because if it's like in year one, y'all are just dating, you're having fun, but now you got real bills in year 4, then it's like, listen, we have to figure something out.
No, this is my goals, man. Why didn't you let me chase my dreams?
I want you to chase your dreams. I just want you to chase it with a little,
Wow, it be your own people that can't support your business, man.
I told you, I showed you. I pay your bills. However,
wow, I knew this was gonna come. You paying my bills, and now you mad at me because I got a roommate too, huh?
I never said. I told you to get a roommate.
But you tell me you pay my bills. Yes, you pay my bills, but you see the molecular structure I'm trying to make with this robot.
Right. So who do you know in this industry that can help you?
You need to help me. Since you got all the answers.
Well, I suggested that maybe you get a job here in this department and then you're able to learn that. You told me you didn't want no job.
You ain't want to quarantine with me. Now you want to quarantine with me and spend time with my children. My children's my roommates, And you don't want to spend time with me. You want to pay my bills. We just combine all the stories together.
All the stories.
Well,
wow.
I think we should end right there.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, all relationships.
Yeah.
What I learned today
is Twilla don't have a sense of humor. Everything I threw at her, she was so Cornel West with her answers.
Well, I really felt like you were no, you didn't.
Strict on everything I said. And mind you, this is what happens when she cuts the papers. When I told her to print these out every single week.
I print them every single week.
I mean, don't print these out every single week.
That's the reason I can't.
The scissors caused her hand
that is exaggerated. As I was cutting them, I was like, maybe I should learn to cut with my left hand.
See, she's wasting paper, she's wasting ink, and now
what would you have me do?
Write it out with your left hand.
Okay, then that will look like trash.
Then you need to read all the answers.
I can type with my left hand. That's easier.
I know how typing works. But what I'm saying is you could have honestly wrote it out with your left hand and said, this says, because you wrote it.
No, I wouldn't have known what it said.
All right.
I thought I learned stuff about you, but now I'm confused.
You confused?
Yeah. Anyways, I've enjoyed this conversation.
I did.
It
was smooth. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching. We will be back next week.
As we should.
Yeah. Be sure to follow us.
We have a Peerspace booking right now. Yes. We got some money coming in, y'all.
Yes.
So
have y'all liked our favorite?
Yes. Before we get started.
Well, we got started.
I should have said this in the beginning. Before we exit, please like, share, subscribe, post, comment, like. It is very useful and helpful for our algorithms that you guys enjoy what you see. If you just watch 30 seconds, just like it. I should have said this in the beginning.
Yeah, just like it. All right, talk to y'all next week.